Academy, as well as our second district. Um, Corridor Rep 1, his roles and responsibilities. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we'll talk about MUNU's Talent Hunt program, and we'll have an opportunity to talk to our winners here. But before we actually get into it, let's first start out with a real quick round of introductions. We'll go ahead and start to my far left.
My name is Rhea Ashby. I come from MCPS County, and I go to Albert Einstein High School, and I'm the visual arts winner for the talent hunt.
Okay, excellent.
I'm Simone Hicks. I go to Sherwood High School in Montgomery County, and I am the winner for the performing arts singing for the talent hunt.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
Good evening, Kelvin Ampofo. I am the Quarter 1 representative. That's for the state of Maryland of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Khadijah Barkley, and I am the Executive Director of the George B. Thomas Senior Learning Academy, affectionately known as Saturday School.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, Brother Ampofo, we'll start with you, our immediate past bosslets of MUNU chapter. So first, tell us about your roles and responsibility as a Corridor 1 representative.
Certainly. So my roles and responsibilities, I'm responsible for all of the chapters, both at the graduate level and at the undergraduate level throughout the entire state of Maryland. So this includes all the college campuses throughout Maryland, as well as all the graduate chapters in all the various counties throughout the state of Maryland, ensuring that we're doing our mandated programs and giving back to the community.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. And so how did you actually come into this particular position?
So the corridor representative works for the district representative. It's an appointed position, and the district representative, our district is comprised of 5 states, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. And so it's an appointment from the district representative to serve in this capacity.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. And so, tell us about some of your accomplishments as the Corridor 1 representative.
Certainly. One of the biggest accomplishments has been reactivation of some of our chapters. As you can imagine, one of the important things for our fraternity and the brothers of our fraternity is to graduate. So we've had several schools where the brothers have graduated, and as a result, to get chapters restarted, we've been able to reactivate chapters. So that's been a huge accomplishment. Another accomplishment is we've actually started a brand new chapter. We call them charters. So a brand new charter at McDaniel College. So those have been 2 of the biggest accomplishments, as well as the various chapters throughout the state doing all their mandated programs and basically doing a wonderful job for this great organization.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. And so tell us a little bit about the second district conference that's actually upcoming, and tell us about some of the activities that are actually planned.
Sure. So the second district conference, this is the opportunity when all the chapters from our 5 states, we all come together and we elect our new officers. But additionally, we also conduct the business for the district. And there's also an opportunity for public forum programs. One of the biggest things we have is our talent hunt competition. So each chapter throughout our entire district, they're going to send their talent hunt winners, and they're all going to compete against each other. And one of them will walk away as a winner representing our entire district.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. And so are there any events that are open to the public?
Certainly, certainly. So we will have a public forum on Thursday night. This is an opportunity for people to come out, listen to what's going on, and work on the needs as it relates to social action. On Friday, if you know Omega Men, we do parties. So there will be a party on Friday night. This is all take place at the Baltimore Hilton. And then again on Saturday, we will have a formal founders banquet. This is where we actually install our new officers. But most importantly, it's an opportunity for the public to see all the awards from all the different Omega Men and chapters from the work they've done since the last conference. And then we'll have another fellowship and party that evening as well. But most importantly, on Sunday, there is a service, church service on Sunday, and a memorial service where we honor all of our brothers who have passed away since last year.
Got it, got it, got it. So speaking of events that are basically open to the public and chapter officers that will also be appointed, is there something in there you wanted to tell us about the second district and you and your some of the things that you're actually planning to do?
Very good. So one, like as I stated, we do elect our new officers. So it is my plan. I am running for the office of District Keeper of Records and Seal. And this is the administrative position for the district. And so it'll be my responsibility to ensure all the chapters across the 5 different states, first and most importantly, their chapter keepers of records and seal are up to date. They're trained, and any information, any resources that I can provide, it'll be my responsibility to make sure that each chapter throughout the district has that. So I look forward to serving the brothers of the 2nd District.
Okay, excellent. And let me just say this, for those who don't know, I've recently relocated to the Maryland, D.C. area. Been here about 3 years, a little over. And I tell you, just under your leadership, it's been tremendous, and you're a tremendous leader. And if you're so elected, which I'm sure you will be, I'll be look forward to if there's anything that you need from me. As you know, MUNU chapter has your back, and we'll support you in any way that we can. So on that note, I think we'll go ahead and pivot from there. And you had talked about the talent hunt. And so let me just start with this. MUNU puts on a talent hunt program every year. And so even I'll take it a step further. Back in 1946, basically what happened was Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated wanted to have a platform that can showcase high school talent. And so we went ahead and initiated that program and again in 1946. And it's been kind of, from there, it's just been a mandated program. And so it's basically one of my personal favorites. Let me just say I have no talent when it comes to the art. So let me go ahead and put that out there. But you young ladies are definitely talented. And so Simone, we'll go ahead and start with you. Just tell us, give us a little background about you and how you actually got into the arts.
Well, I've been singing since my first memory of singing is in church. So I've been singing as long as I can remember, starting in church, and then just kind of finding my niche, whether that be in musical theater or just singing, like performing. Yeah.
Okay, Rhea, same question. Give us a little bit of background and tell us how you actually got into the arts.
Well, I've always been interested in painting and painters. I think it probably started when I was very young. We had a lot of books about art and like the Renaissance in my house, and then I would go to the library and read about ancient painters, and I always looked at them and their lives, and I thought that's what I want to do.
Okay, excellent. And so, Rhea, we'll actually go back to you. So tell us about some of your early influences and how that actually contributed to your success.
Well, I'm part of the Visual Arts Center at my high school, and the 2 teachers that run that program, it's 1.5 hours basically I spend with them every day working in studio time, and they've kind of mentored me for these past 3 years, and they would be my greatest teachers for art and my greatest influences, I think. And then my mom and my grandmother are classical dancers, Indian classical dancers. And growing up in that kind of artistic environment, I think really helped me like be creative and explore my passions.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Simone, same question. Influences and how have you actually used that to kind of contribute?
So me and my grandfather are really, really close, and my grandfather loves music. And so when I was younger, we used to listen to a lot of jazz and a lot of the oldies like Nat King Cole and Ella Fitzgerald and Etta James and stuff. And listening to them and how rich their voices are and how deep their voices are. I have a deeper voice. So seeing Black women who are professional and who have deeper voices, I felt comfortable with that. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to sing like they sang. And I just feel like when I sing, there's no better time than when I'm singing. So I'm contributing to other people, but I'm also contributing to like myself, my happiness.
Got you. Good stuff. And so next question, this is for you, Simone. Do you actually plan to continue on with the arts in the future?
I do, yes. My dream is to be on stage singing for the rest of my life.
Excellent. Okay. And Rhea, kind of same question. Tell us a little bit about your pursuit for the future in the arts.
Well, I'm actually part of the college application process right now, looking for schools to go to, and I hope to major in something or double major with arts and make that part of my career growing up.
Okay. You got any schools in mind?
Not too many. I don't have as much.
Okay, excellent. And so, Rhea, I'll just say this. Do you have a message for anyone that's out there that might just be a little shy in pursuing their own artistic talent?
Well, I think you just have to practice. Only you know what you need to work on and where you can go. So you just have to keep doing it if it feels like something that's part of you.
Excellent. So, Simone, same question.
If it makes you happy, go for it. There's no point in being nervous about something that you know that you can do and know that you're strong at. So just do it.
Okay. Excellent. And so, Khadijah, let me just go ahead and say this. As you heard, I've been to the area. I've been here about 3.5 years now. And one of the things that actually drove me to MUNU chapter, as I was kind of looking around for the chapter that basically best suited me, was some of their mentoring programs. And so there's two programs that really kind of stick out. And why don't you go ahead and talk about the George B. Senior Learning Academy. And,
Okay.
And so with that being said, just give us a little bit of background about the George B. Thomas Senior Learning Academy, also known as Saturday School.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So, in 1986, the NAACP put out a call to the area sororities and fraternities asking that they support the school system, Montgomery County Public Schools, in eliminating and alleviating the achievement and the opportunity gap that exists and is persistent. And so the MUNU chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity heeded that call and decided that they were going to start a Saturday school program. Totally volunteer. It was the members of the chapter along with their family members and their loved ones, and it was a labor of love. They came together in Olney, Maryland with 21 students and 19 volunteers and started what we know now as Saturday School. It was one location then, and over the years, Dr. Thomas, who's the founder, came back to the area, who was the previous president of Voorhees College, and created, along with the superintendent of Montgomery County Schools, a strategic partnership. And in that, the then superintendent, Dr. Wiest, said to Dr. Thomas, in order for you to really make a dent in this achievement and or opportunity gap, I would like for your entity and your fraternity to expand. And so since that time period, over 31 years, we're now in 13 locations, and we serve approximately 3,000 students every year. And even though we are, a nonprofit organization at this time, and we have a strategic partnership with the school system, our foundation comes from the MUNU chapter of Omega Psi Phi, and we don't ever forget that. And we really like to remind people that we are really a grassroots organization starting with the fraternity.
Excellent. So is there a target audience for this program?
So, of course, because our focus is dealing with the achievement gap and or the opportunity gap, we do look to serve students that need a competitive edge. So it may be children that might be struggling in English, language arts, or in math. But over the years, we found that is not the only clientele that we've served over the years. Even though what we find is, and I when we had our equity breakfast, one of the panelists said that we find more and more often now parents are just not able to help their children as they get into higher level math and higher level English unless they have a higher level education themselves. And so the opportunity is there on Saturday mornings for children who may not have, parents at home that can help them with algebra or pre-calculus or, whatever we're dealing with in English. And so we offer that opportunity for students to get that competitive edge with a certified teacher on Saturday mornings, regardless of what background they come from. So even if they're not struggling, they still need to be strong in those common academic subjects.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And so, you want to talk a little bit about some of your donors that actually contribute to Saturday School?
So, oh my goodness, first and foremost, the school system as our strategic partner. I mean, they pay for our ICB costs on Saturday mornings. They provide transportation to some of our locations. The school system also provides me as an executive director, so I am actually a principal in Montgomery County Public Schools, and I have been placed there or appointed there to serve as the executive director as a part of that strategic partnership. And so my cost is shared between the school system and the nonprofit organization. But we have a number of corporations, Pepco Holdings, Washington Gas, and individuals, New chapter of Omega Psi Phi. They are always contributing individually and collectively. Beta Mu, Boulay. I mean, the list goes on. And we have very large contributors, but we also have very individuals that anytime that we send out an annual appeal, there are individuals that believe in education and the power of students that are competitive and that really want to learn on Saturday mornings. I didn't mention this, but our motto is "I believe in me," and we're really trying to pump out really confident learners.
Got you. And so lastly, do you want to talk about any upcoming events that you
Oh
have?
my goodness. So we have our 24th annual golf tournament that's coming up on Friday, May 18th. So if you have any golf enthusiasts out there, we are looking for sponsorships. So you can go to www.saturdayschool.org and you can register to play. We will be at the Montgomery Country Club this year again, and that's in Laytonsville. Okay. So we have a shotgun start at 8 o'clock on that Friday morning. So will you gentlemen be there with us? Okay, excellent.
And so do you want to tell our listeners out there where they can actually find information about the golf tournament?
Sure. So www.saturdayschool.org is our website, and all the information is there. And this Saturday, which is Saturday, April 21st, at Einstein High School, which is where you are, Rhea, right? Mm-hmm. We're actually having a site visit. So if you want to come by Einstein High School this Saturday morning, you'll get a chance to see our coding program and just watch us do our work on Saturday mornings. One thing to say Saturday school, it's really another thing to actually see us in action. Certified teachers working with children to build confident learners that have a competitive edge.
Got you. Now, as you know, it's been a little over a year now since we've actually lost our brother, George B. Thomas Sr.
Yes.
And so do you just want to talk about a little bit about the man himself?
Wow. So, I met Dr. Thomas personally in 2015 when I became the executive director. And I don't think I've really ever met another person that has been so driven and just had a heart for children and wanted all children, regardless of where they came from or what their background was, for them to be successful. And people will tell you over and over again, how he would meet you and just ask you about your child. And then when he sees you again, so how is your child? How are your children doing? He had such a heart. And, I actually feel him on a regular basis. Today we had a meeting about, credit recovery and bridge projects and helping children to be successful when they graduate from high school, getting those graduation requirements finished with these, new state assessments that are going on. And I felt like Dr. Thomas was with me in the room when we started talking about the fact that the school system is committed to making sure that each and every child has what they need. And if it's a bridge project, they can come to Saturday school and do it. If it's credit recovery, we need to find a way to make sure that we're there for them on Saturday mornings. And, every time I have a conversation like that, I literally feel like he's in the room with me. But he said to me, before he, long before he passed away, I said, Dr. Thomas, how long do you want me to do this? He says, I want you to do it as long as you possibly can. He said, because I do believe that you have what it takes to take this to the next level. And so I have a great team that works with me. We miss him every day, but we definitely feel his spirit.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's very heartwarming. And when I got here, about 3 years ago, I actually had the opportunity to meet him on just a couple events that we did. But very charismatic person. And so, Brother Ampofo, I kind of look to you. I know you've had plenty of opportunities to be a part of Dr. Thomas's vision. As well as his leadership. You want to take this opportunity just to kind of talk about some of the encounters that you've had?
I mean, all the encounters with Dr. Thomas just been simply wonderful. Similar to Khadijah, every time I saw Dr. Thomas, he always asked about my 2 young boys. And he just, how they doing in reading? How they doing in reading? And I said, Dr. Thomas said, they're doing well. But, it was... And I got used to it. Obviously, as a husband, we kind of always, the kids always come first. But every time I saw him, hey, how you doing? All right. Hey, how my 2 young men doing?
Right.
And but it was just that motivation, and it was just that reiteration of, education, and making sure that they always stayed ahead. Just a phenomenal man overall.
Got it. Well, on that should pretty much conclude our segment here on Cues on the Move. But with that, I'll just give one opportunity before we close out. You want to give a plug to the book?
Yeah, so I didn't even mention. So before Dr. Thomas passed and made his transition, he did pen a book called Education, the Great Equalizer by Dr. George B. Thomas Sr. You can find that book on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble online. But it really talks about, his vision for Saturday school and the steps that different school systems can actually take to start a Saturday school program. So Education, the Great Equalizer, you guys should go get it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Khadijah. And again, I want to thank all of our guests. So that should pretty much conclude the Cues on the Move, the new edition of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And so I'll just say, ladies, good luck to you as you go compete on the 2nd District level. You guys are very talented, and we look for great things from you. And definitely keep in touch in your endeavors as you go off and continue on with the arts. And Brother Ampofo, again, wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
And again, good luck on your endeavors. And just note that I'll be right there behind you, and Munu is right there supporting you. And obviously, Khadijah, just thank you for all the work that you're doing with Saturday School and really upholding the real true legacy of Dr. George B. Thomas Sr. and his vision. So on that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap.
I think, what's the time?